So, shooters and reloaders, it's Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone Express. And hello to all the Three Circles passengers and members. What you're looking at, of course, is my new barrel for the Thompson Center Encore. It's a 16.5-inch barrel with a 1 16-inch rifling twist, and it's chambered in 45 auto rim. Now, you know, we've already done a video on reloading for this little beast, so let's show you what we did. Now, you may have seen the loading of the 185 grain Sierra jacketed hollow cavity bullet, 9.4 grains of unique, taken out of the Sierra loading manual. That's a pretty hot load. That should give us a kind of a lightweight jacketed hollow cavity bullet, high performance loading that we could use to perhaps hunt some big game, but not real big game. Then we have the Lee 160 grain cowboy bullet, but this one's stoked with 9.4 grains of unique also, so we should have some good velocity with that one. So these are high performance loads. Well, let's go ahead and load some more sedate loads using the blunt 272 grain wad cutter cast bullet, powder coated, and also the classic 45 ACP round nose 230 grain bullet. We'll load these, and the loads will be more sedate. So you see the Lee Ram Prime, and we've got the stem sticking up from the shell holder. Put a primer in there. Then lower the stem, put a case in, now raise the stem, and we feel the primer go right to the bottom of a primer pocket, just like that. The sensitivity is exceptional, and it may very well be because you got a straight inline seating of the primer on the downstroke, not the upstroke of the press. And you got more feel with the downstroke than on the upstroke. So that might be the reason why the Lee is so nice and sensitive with the Lee Ram Prime. So look at this. You got so much room on the Lyman All-American 8 press that you can simply put cases on the station like that and then gather them all in a batch. Like this. Now I've got the RCBS Cowboy Expander Neck Flaring Die. It's the neck expander mouth flaring die installed and adjusted, so when we run the case in, we create a two-step mouth expansion so that the bullet goes right in, and not only that, but when it goes in, it's going to be square because it's sitting in a seat in there all the way around, instead of a simple blunderbuss where the bullet can be a little bit crooked. When you put it into the seat with a two-step type of mouth expansion, mouth flaring, the bullet goes in there and squares itself up. So we like that. So notice again, there's the expanded mouth flared case. The bullet goes in, and all you gotta do is push it in, and it's gonna be square in there, because it's actually seating into a two-step seat. And there's the last one. We'll just check that one also, and there you see the neck expansion mouth flaring is perfect. Interesting that the Lyman All-American 8 press and the inline fabrication quick change mount has all kinds of flat surfaces that you can store your cases that you're processing, so that when you've got them all done, you just take them, put them right into your loading tray. Kind of saves a little bit of tediousness. Well, we're ready for powder charge now, so we're going to load accurate number 7 powder. It's a good powder for 44 Special, 45 Auto Rim, and we're going to load a charge of 9 grains of accurate number 7 and that 273 grain wad cutter cast bullet. So 9 grains. So you see there's our Hornady automatic powder dispenser, and it is going ahead with a 9 grain charge. And there it is, another good charge. We'll go ahead and dump that into one of the cases. Now the Lee Factory crimp die, we adjust this die by having it touch the shell holder at full stroke. Then we back out the crimping stem, run a loaded case up into the die, then lower the crimping stem until it touches the case mouth, then lower your case, and then go ahead and add the crimp. Anywhere from a half turn to 3/4 turn, maybe a little bit more, and you're going to have the crimp you want. And if you want a heavier crimp, you can get that too. But the beauty of this die, it has a carbide ring that irons out any kind of inconsistencies or bulges that might cause problems for the chambering of your rounds. So we crimp just like this. Run a case in there, and right there, this is where the crimp is going to happen. That's it. Give it a rotation and run it in there again to even the crimp out, and there you go. Got a nice crimp on that. Okay, so we've discussed now the wad cutter 273 grain bullets. Now let's discuss the 230 grain round nose bullets, and everything's the same. The priming, the neck expansion, mouth flaring, everything's the same right up until we talk about the bullet seating. So wow, look at that Hornady automatic powder dispenser. No overcharges. We're going to do 40 rounds total, and another good charge. The older this powder dispenser gets, the better it works. Okay, so the powder charge is 9.5 grains of accurate number 7 powder. That's 9.5 grains. Should be good for about 832 feet per second out of a revolver. Then we're going to go ahead and seat this bullet so that it chambers in our Thompson Center Encore barrel. Now, this bullet was not designed to be powder coated. So when we powder coat it, we add a little bit of thickness to the ogive, and that could cause some problems for the seating depth in your particular gun. So when we seat this, we need to make sure that the round will chamber and that the bullet ogive is not hitting the rifling. Now with our Thompson Center Encore, no problem functioning, because all we do is hand drop them into the chamber anyway. So that's good. As you see here. Now since we're loading 45 ACP bullets, I'm going to use my Dillon taper crimp die for the 45 ACP and run those 45 rim rounds into the taper crimp die to taper crimp this round. Okay, so notice, here you go. The seating depth of 1.197, you put it into the Thompson Center Encore, close the action, and then when you open the action, now of course the round can allow the hammer to function. So then when we go ahead and open the action, there's no binding at all of the bullet in the chamber when you extract the round, as you see. Okay, so you notice the 45 auto rim round on the left functions just fine in the Thompson Center Encore. And we've actually loaded it to the same overall length as the 45 ACP. Both of these will actually function in the Thompson Center Encore. What? How's that possible? You can actually put the 45 ACP round into the Thompson Center Encore. Does that mean you can go ahead and shoot that round in the 45 auto rim chamber? And the answer is no, because my particular 45 auto rim chamber happens to have a little bit deeper shoulder that's inside the front of the chamber. Since the 45 auto rim headspace is on the rim, that's not a problem. But for a 45 ACP case going into that same chamber, the headspace of the chamber is excessive. Now it turns out that the extractor will actually hold the 45 ACP round to have the firing pin be able to detonate the round. But that's a bad policy, very dangerous, because the extractor is not designed to provide headspace. Now, if the chamber had the same front as the 45 ACP chamber, then you could actually put both rounds into the chamber, and the shoulder in the front of the chamber will headspace the 45 ACP properly, and the rim of the 45 auto rim will headspace properly in the same chamber. But because my chamber has a little deeper throat, that won't work for the 45 ACP round. So interestingly, we have 4 nice loads now to go to the range, and 2 high performance loads to the left, and 2 more standard type loadings on the right. So see you at the range. Bye for now.